Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. I'm setting up this video to zoom in and focus on a viewer inquiry about her covert narcissist spouse and how he created a atmosphere of perfection. And it was very confusing to her that it was very unconscious that she had been living to strive to satisfy his perfectionist needs and never felt like she was good enough, never felt like she could get the job done. She always felt incomplete. And she was asking me why this is so. And I think this is a really important topic because when we look at a covert narcissist individual, they really have a very aloof reticence to them, where it's very sealed off. They're very kind of stonewalled. There's a lot that you don't see that's lurking underneath the surface. Yet, unbeknownst to you, there's this sort of evil person looking in on the relationship. An evil meaning one that is constantly based on comparison. And because of a covert narcissist, because of their so little discussion, communication, compliments, affection, things of this nature coming out of them, that one tends to revolve their whole world around this person and their self-worth based on this person. So she was wondering really why she felt incomplete and why she felt imperfect. And that's because, the relationship was probably entered in with a passion for this person, a passion for taking care of this person, and a passion for loving this indelible quality, perhaps that was quiet, that seemed unassuming, shy, and coming from a meekness. Yet there was something very unmeek about this person, which was typified usually in their heightened sense of talent or intellect or their earning capability or something of that nature, which really stood out and drew you into the relationship. And you felt you had to work harder and harder to please him, to meet him on these standards. So I think it's very important that a lot of it is very cerebral in your need for cerebral perfection versus just living in the light of the relationship. And this comparison of needing to be perfect is because part of you knows that something is really askew and off. And so you're constantly, part of you is really on the outside looking in rather than being fully in the relationship. And I don't just mean in the metacognitive sense where you're reviewing, you're thinking about the relationship or something of that nature. There's part of you that hasn't been exposed, developed, and kind of brought into the relationship, part of you that has been shut out. So this creates that feeling of like, I'm not fully complete in my relationship and I have to constantly work to please him, which in essence keeps you really in this older really a commitment that you keep for really your whole life. And so when you feel this attachment, it's this bonding, you're feeling the sense of this lifelong need to be constantly prove yourself to him, even if this person, even if you're thinking about separating, even if you're divorced, like this one client is, you still feel like you're acting out of responsibility to them, even though they're no longer present. So realize it's because this was set up. This need to be perfect was really ingratiated to you by this relationship because you had put them on this pedestal. And so you have to just really, if you find yourself with a covert narcissist, feeling like you have to be perfect, feeling like if you make one little error, you have to correct the smudge, etc., just you need to let that go. Let that comparison go. Because if you're constantly comparing, you're constantly striving. You're never, and that's always for something outside of yourself versus inside. And I know that this is a lot of psychological discussion, and I really, once again, I want to applaud those who are really able to grasp this concept and embrace it and use it to liberate your life. So the internal really, where you really are okay to exist and you are enough. So that enoughness is really never experienced in a covert narcissist relationship. You never quite feel like enough. There's always part of you that's nagging and creating this need to be more than what you are. So you're constantly feeling this drive, and it can become insatiable. So once again, it's not that you're just driven by this constant, never-ending need for improvement, but there's this perfectionist standard, which is unspoken, which again is a comparison because there's so much else going on of chaos that creates this dynamic in the relationship because of the silence. The silence creates the chaos. And so it allows you to constantly feel like you're never good enough. So that's again where open communication is always key. It always helps you know where you're at in the relationship, and it does help you with that groundedness in feeling like you are enough. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.